Hello, this is Cho of the Shiny Colors Discord. Welcome to another episode of the Shiny Review. Today we have 3 new cards to talk about: a Produce SSR for Yuika, Support SSR for Natsuha, and Support SR for Kogane. Keep in mind that Yuika and Natsuha are permanent. If you have seen the banner already, which I'm sure you have, this banner has the perm bonus that seems to be a lot more regular, which is that if you pull a copy of Yuika and Natsuha on this banner, the first time you are guaranteed to get them at 2 stars. So you're getting effectively 3 copies for the cost of 1. I think the banner is okay, but I wouldn't say that it's a to die for kind of banner. Let's get into it. First off, we have Yuika. Marking the changing of the seasons proper, Yuika 7 gives us a metaphorical and literal restart to mechanics we've seen with both Yuika as well as Antika proper. A blending of old and new, as it were. She's a mixed visual dance unit who aims for lower health while also having relatively high max health. She retains Yuika's original characteristics of cutting your own mental upon using appeals, but gains benefits of certain Kogane cards that we've seen in the past that buff you for doing so. The short and simple thought on this Yuika is that while she is a much more modern take on Yuika 1, she ultimately doesn't feel that she will make that much of a splash for Antika as a whole. The unit in general still struggles in modern fest formats, and haven't had a killer card that gives them a proper direction to go since the Sakuya 4 Kiriko 4 combo from 2 years ago. She's really neat for the story, but not really a game changer for her unit. Her roles are center, maybe, though I wouldn't recommend it. She is a buffer and she has health cut, and I kind of put her on the low recommendation list. She is a permanent, so she'll be around forever. She's not a limited card, nor is she a Twilight's collection, so it really does drop off the scale pretty fast after that. Yuika's initial skill is a visual 3.0 appeal that reduces your current mental by 40% and grants a possible visual 75% up maximum buff for 3 turns that scales based on how high of a mental reduction you received from said 40% reduction. This links into a visual 3.0 appeal. The 3-star version of the skill is more of the same, except now the 3.0 visual is replaced with a Dance 4.5, reduces your mental again by 40%, and has a maximum Dance 150% buff for 3 turns, scaling on that mental reduction, and links into a Dance 3.0 appeal. Her 1-star passive is a Dance visual 35% up that requires the turn count to be 2 or earlier, and has a 30% chance to activate once. Her 2-star passive is a Dance visual 75% up that requires your maximum mental to be 3400 or higher, and your current mental to be 49% or lower. This has a 20% chance to activate twice, and this also gets a visual plus 50 uncap. Her 3-star uncap is a Dance visual plus 100, and her 4-star passive is a Dance 85% up that requires the full Antika lineup and has a 20% chance to activate once, also unlocking a Dance plus 150 uncap. Her memory appeal when maxed out is a Dance 2.0 appeal that links into a Dance maximum 3.5 appeal, scaling based on how low your current mental is. For the support recommendations, Dance Antika haven't had any big changes to their game plan in a while, so many things that have worked before will still work now. Even more so now that Step has pushed Grad out once the optimization has really kicked in, so use who you feel, realistically. If Pain is your preferred route, you can attempt to make Yuika work as a visual unit, despite visual Antika not receiving support in what feels like years. Many of the modern staples get to be here, and you should be fine with some mixing and matching. As for the team recommendation, Mamimi still sits as the strongest of the centers in this situation, though is a little more situational, so you may find Kogane periodically. Yuika helps accelerate things while also letting you sit on a strong dance buff. So not really anything else to note here. Sakuya and Kiriko do their best to stall with a Daikichi appeal as you attempt to get all the buffs ready for turn 5 and then hit the memory appeal. That's about it. On to the grades. Yuika as a center, I would say is a B- to B+. The numbers are solid. A 5.5 dance appeal is certainly not bad. It has nothing else that makes it particularly stand out, and ultimately feels a bit underwhelming when you consider Antika still need 5 turns to link appeal, and only get that amount of damage compared to much higher values on teams that access memory appeals much faster than they do. It's a shame, but that's how it goes right now. As a unit, B. I think Yuika is strictly okay, design-wise. Her passives are fine-ish, and her appeals have a clear intention to work with a more modern Antika. The only issue is that Antika is a team that asks for the patience of a saint to even hope to get a good score, and struggle to keep up with the ever-evolving meta. It's a really strong story and narrative for Yuika, but don't break the bank for this card. Next up we have Natsuha. Natsuha's latest support is really making it feel obvious that Chiyoko 7 is going to be a visual card, limited or not. She provides a metric ton of visual stat growth in 3 separate rooms, while also providing extra stamina to the visual room specifically, and even has a 6% chance at giving whatever room she's in a free level up. Her passives are mostly fine, nothing too outrageous with her. Natsuha's not bad, but she's a permanent support at the end of the day in a world where 2 separate types of limited cards exist. Her support skills are Idol's Bond, Room Mastery, and Rest Boost, and she has 4 unique support skills: Visual Mastery Visual, reaching plus 15 at level 75, Visual Mastery Stamina, reaching plus 6 at level 80, and then Radio Mastery Visual and Talk Mastery Visual, both reaching plus 10 at level 80. Her support appeal does scale, starting in at a Visual 2.5, working its way up to a 3.0. Her TFD idea is Mental, her Insight Token for Grad is Mental, and her proficiencies and Landing Point are in Visual and Mental. Natsuha's 1-star passive is a visual 30% up if you're in the visual position, with a 20% chance to activate once. Her 2-star passive is a visual 70% up and attention 50% up as long as your current mental is 74% or lower. This is a 20% chance to activate once. Her 3-star uncap is a visual plus 100, and her 4-star appeal is a visual 3.5 that raises your attention by 20% for 3 turns and duets with Kokura randomly. Natsuha gets a B+. Natsuha is pretty alright. I was tempted to give her a low A- on the scale, but I felt that B+ would make more sense given the relative situation with permanent cards. This is kind of where I would actually put Safari Choco at this point as well too. So Safari Choco has fallen off a little bit, but she's still good, and arguably still more relevant than this Natsuha right now, just because Visual Hokura still doesn't exist. Just don't take B+ as meaning she's unusable, and you'll be completely okay using this card. Natsuha gives a lot and offers a lot should you choose to use her. Just know that she'll be in every pull forever, and you may be blessed at some point to get this card. I low to moderately recommend pulling for this card. Lastly, we have our event card Kogane. And hey, can you tell? She really likes Mental. A lot. So much. This Kogane card has completely wrapped her identity around being mental focused. She's a vocal card? Nuh-uh. She's a mental card. Okay, jokes aside, the plus 10 to mental in the vocal room is cool. Her passives are also built like she's a 2018 gacha unit, so that's kinda neat too. It's kinda showing you the state of what SRs are kinda looking like now that we're 4 years into the game. Her support skills are Idol's Bond, Promise Recovery, Rest Boost, and Trouble Guard, and her unique support skill is Vocal Mastery Mental, reaching plus 10 at level 65. Her TFD idea, Insight Token for Grad, and Proficiency and Landing Point are all in Mental. Kogane's 1-star passive is a vocal 12% up that requires you to be in the vocal position. This has a 30% chance to activate once. Her 2-star passive, a vocal 40% up that requires your current mental to be 49% or lower and has a 30% chance to activate once. Her 3-star uncap is a vocal plus 50, and her 4-star appeal is a vocal 2.5 that raises your vocal by 20% for 4 turns. Her event passive, an 8% buff to vocal that requires Kogane on your team, and it has a 30% chance to activate twice. Kogane earns a C+. I wasn't kidding when I said that Kogane feels like a 2018 gacha card. Her 2-star passive and 4-star appeal might as well be the original SR Chiyoko support that carried many a player in the early days of Shiny. And if you ignore the half-health condition for her passive, she's a direct upgrade. The unfortunate part is that outside of just starting Shiny recently and desperately needing a vocal support, this card, much like other 2018 cards, does very little for you, usually. You might as well farm for Kogane while she's here. And that will do it for the video today. Thank you so much, as always, for watching. Next week is going to be a little weird. I'm going to be taking a small vacation starting from Thursday and being back on Monday, which means that I'm probably going to cut it real close as to whatever banner happens after that. So I'm going to try to get the Shiny review up for the next banner up as soon as possible, so the turnaround on these might be really quick, so we'll just see. Anyways, let's look forward to whatever banner comes next. I've been Sho, thanks for watching, have a wonderful rest of your day.